Hi, everybody. Hope you had a good weekend. Weekend forecast was good. We had that 88-degree temperature last Friday. Saturday was still sunny, a little warmer than I thought. I had forecast 82, it was 85. And then today we had the clouds much of the day with just some traces of rain and in the mid 60s, which is exactly what I thought would happen back on Friday. So a good weekend forecast for you. Hope you enjoyed your time outdoors. We've opened up some sun breaks late in the day, especially at the coast and especially south of Portland. Here's Gearhart by the Seas camera up in Gearhart looking back at Tillamook Head. Of course, Seaside would be right there, kind of partly cloudy skies. So Portland today, 66, Salem 62, Astoria 58, and Hood River did 63 degrees. Well, today is April 30th, and typically April 30th / May 1st, we put a book on the Mount Hood snowpack and we close it for the season. So let's see where we are, and I'm excited to tell you that the news is good. And by the way, before we get to the numbers, Ski Bowl and Mount Hood Meadows are now closed for the winter season. They wrapped up their winter season this weekend. They will now both be working hard to get their summer recreational season open for you. Timberline continues to be open, of course, for skiing and boarding. Okay, what do we do? This is Mount Hood Site Pacific, the Mount Hood test site, right around 1,500, or excuse me, right around 5,400 feet off of Timberline Road. That's where they measure it. And the big story here is we did it. Yay! 101% of normal for the season. So just a tad above what the climate norm is. So that's great. If you stuck a ruler down through the snow at that 5,400 foot level, you'd come up with 130 inches of snow on the ground right now. And if you melted all that, you'd have 57.60 inches of water stored. And it's that figure that we really concern ourselves with for water potential for the summer season. The last time, get this, the last time Mount Hood had 100% of normal for a season or greater, you have to go back just over 10 years ago to the winter of 2011, 2012, when the snowpack ended at 105% of normal. Both of that year and the year we just wrapped up were La Nina years. And again, La Nina seasons typically do give you, on average, the best chance to have 100% of normal season. But, when I looked at, the climate trends for Mount Hood back for a presentation I did in December, what I found is that, quite frankly, we're seeing fewer and fewer of big bumper seasons, and we're actually seeing fewer and fewer of seasons that get up to 100% of normal. We're seeing a lot of seasons 85% of normal, 93% of normal. Not bad, but we're seeing less and less of 100% of normal. That means that what we expect to have on Mount Hood for snow every year is doing this. It's going down. And if you go back to 1980, 1990, and 2000, I mean, the what is considered normal is now becoming a lower number. I mean, when I started working here in 1999, this figure, you'd have to get 62, I think this is right, about 62 inches of stored water to be considered normal. Now 57.60 inches is a little bit above normal. So it's important to keep track of what we call normal, because if you don't, you lose track of whether things are changing. Things are changing. We're getting higher snow levels, more rain, less stored water and snow up there year after year. But at least this season, we had, relatively speaking, a pretty good year for stored water up on Mount Hood. Let's hope that gives us great water supply in the Mount Hood Basin and dampens fire season this upcoming summer. So let's stick with this trend. This is the current Northwest Drought Monitor, and overall, this is great news. If you look at the white areas, no drought precip numbers are generally expected to be normal. That includes the Mount Hood Basin. That includes, a good chunk of Washington, certainly, and then kind of the corners of Oregon. I have a legend on this. So the one area that's of concern, so when you get yellow, you're not in drought, but you're kind of still considered to be a bit dry. That's part of Washington. But generally, practically none of Washington is in drought. The moderate drought's this first tan color. Well, it just clips the northeastern corner. And then you get all the way to red is extreme drought, and that's where you are right here. At one point, this is that area in kind of east central Oregon. And at one point, I think before we started the winter, that was exceptional. So that has improved somewhat. It is in an area that's been dry for so long now that this may be reclassified climate. I mean, they'll reclassify this as a drier climate zone than it used to be. And if they ever decide to do that, that would effectively take it out of the exceptional drought category. But please note that's just, they're just saying, the folks that classify all this, so, well, that climate's changed and now it's drier than it used to be. We're going to pull it out of drought status. But, you know, if that made sense, what I was trying to tell you. But even this map is really greatly improved over a year ago. Again, much of Oregon is now either in no drought at all or just kind of a moderate drought. So, you know, things are better than they used to be. So that's good news. All right, let's talk about what's coming up. Big upper level low on the satellite picture over the Aleutian Islands. Here's the one nearing the Washington coast that brought us the marine push of low clouds today and took us from the 80s back down into the 60s, from above normal to more of a normal temperature plan. This is going to continue to drop to our south. It will feed us more clouds on Monday, continue the chance of some drizzle or some light precip. And one of the stories this week is that we have all these days with chances of rain, but for the most part, none of it looks like it's ever going to amount to much. So this map shows you rain potential for tomorrow and Tuesday. And if you look, first off, there's a fairly widespread area of Oregon and Washington with a rain chance, but the numbers are small. And if you look here from the coast to the valley and out into the gorge, we're talking about rain potential of 1/10 of an inch to about 1/4 of an inch. And quite frankly, I think those numbers are too high. This could very easily end up being more like, some of us get 5/100ths of an inch of rain over the next 2 days. Maybe a couple of us get 1/10 of an inch. Maybe some of us don't even get more than a trace. But so you get the idea, the ongoing chance of some moisture, but nothing stormy looking. And for the most part, pretty light stuff. I do want to contradict myself for a moment and tell you that the indices we look at point to an unstable atmosphere Tuesday afternoon. So maybe Tuesday afternoon we'll get some spotty downpours and some heavier showers out there. Here's a look at the flow pattern. This is tomorrow. That low that's now nearing the Washington coast continues to drop down in the afternoon off the coast of Oregon and California. Clouds, ongoing chances of some moisture. That sticks with us. I think Wednesday is going to be dry, but then Thursday we open up more rain chances. The low I just showed you ends up down here in Southern California into southern Nevada. And then we're going to watch this new low dropping down from the north. So this is troughing, and just means that while I do have a 70-degree temperature on the board coming up, overall this week is going to be really comfortable to slightly cool for this time of the year. The next cold front that we have coming in is Sunday, and that's what this map shows us, Sunday of next week. So a week from today. There's that trough. That's that low that I showed you that was dropping down from the north, continues to do so. So right now, Sunday would have a pretty good chance of cloudy skies with some rain. And actually, right now I show Sunday's high at only 56 degrees. So that would be a cool day if that doesn't change and that holds true. Okay. Tomorrow is the 1st of May, so I want to update some of the outlooks. The National Weather, this is interesting. The National Weather Service 30-day outlook or 31-day outlook for the month of May, and they just updated it. Still shows chances of being above normal temperature-wise and below normal rainfall-wise. But I chose to show you this. This is May 8th through the 14th. So not this coming week, but the following week, the second week of May. Notice how it shows all of the West Coast below normal. That's a continued troughing. Those maps I just showed you where it's kind of near normal to cooler than normal. And days that, well, a lot of days that will have a rain chance, but this says above normal. But I'm wondering if we don't get into, yeah, we had a lot of days with just a little bit of rain, but we never got enough to actually keep up to the normal pace. So we're still looking at below normal rainfall. That could be the case. But my point of showing you this outlook map is if we're going to have a warmer than normal May, we're going to have to go gangbusters the final 2 weeks of the month, because this shows the first 2 weeks of the month are relatively cool. So we'll see how all that works out. And with that said, here's my 7-day. Tomorrow, a lot like today, some light showers or drizzle, some light rain amounts, precip amounts around, clouds, 64, light winds. Not a bad day, like today wasn't. Tuesday, we open up more of a partly cloudy sky day. That will help us get up to 70 or 71 with a shower chance. Again, that sun is going to build instability, so maybe we do see some spotty or isolated heavier showers, as I mentioned. This is not a 0% chance of rain on Wednesday, but right now it looks like a day that could be dry to me with partly cloudy skies. That would be the warmest day of the week, 75 degrees. Thursday, we bring in more clouds. Shower chances start to pick up, 68 into Friday, 64. None of this looks like it's a whole lot. It's all scattered shower chances of generally light winds. And then Saturday, eventually, the clouds thicken, the showers later in the day may be increasing into that cold front that I showed you on the map that comes in Sunday morning and gives us a temperature of 56. Okay. That is your update. Hopefully, I've given you a good roadmap of what it looks like we should expect this upcoming week. Pretty comfortable stuff. Hope you had a good weekend. Don't forget to hit subscribe, and please share this information with some friends if you enjoy seeing these forecasts online. I will talk to you soon.